Judge.
Let's take your case up from the Greenwood County facility. I think you had to wait before, so I'm going to put you at the top. Let's see.
I can go anytime. I can wait if you like for him to.
Well, I sure appreciate that.
I've already had breakfast. Everything's great here.
All right. Well, and you're looking good. So, but let's go ahead and take you up first. And that will be on the record. Missy, we are on the record. Yes.
Do what?
I was asking Missy, I used to have lights that came on my screen and now I don't. So, but I think I heard us go on the record, didn't I, Missy?
Yes, we are on the record.
I missed my lights. Okay. We are on the record in 2024 TR 2231 State of Kansas versus George Allen Likes. Jared Regier appearing for the state, Mr. Likes, the defendant, appearing in person, and pro se from the Butler County Detention Facility.
Greenwood, ma'am.
Greenwood, thank you. Greenwood County Jail, but we are in Butler County District Court on one count of driving while habitual violator after second conviction. And this, I was thinking Mr. Likes had appeared before on this, but I'm not finding notes to that effect.
I have not, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, then, Mr. Likes, I will explain that this is a Class A non-person misdemeanor, and the penalties for that, even though it's a second, I believe are still up to 1 year in the county jail and a $2,500 maximum fine. But let me double check that since it is showing as a second. Mr. Regier, do you show enhanced penalties on a second?
Your Honor, based off of my review of the statute, specifically KSA 8, 287, it is the state's understanding that the statutory enhanced penalty does not apply in this matter.
All right, thank you. All right, so it is Mr. Likes up to a year in the county jail and a $2,500 fine. And you are entitled to a trial. Of course, you can always enter a plea, but that might affect further habitual violator period of time. You do have the right to an attorney. You can hire any attorney of your choice. And if you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can apply for court appointed, or you can waive your right and represent yourself. But again, this is pretty significant charge as traffic matters go. So do you want some time to get an attorney, or do you want to turn in an application for court appointed?
Well, one or the other for sure. What, can you give me the date of this offense, ma'am?
It allegedly occurred May 27, 2024. And I can tell you that the citation includes an allegation that it happened or occurred.
Yes, ma'am.
If I can read it, it
I
allegedly happened on Southeast 40th and Southeast Turkey Creek Road.
That's my ex-wife's address.
Okay.
And it did happen, and I was there, but there are many extenuating circumstances, which I'd like to have my attorney, which I haven't employed one yet for this matter, review. And I think I might call Stephen Ariano on that.
All right.
If I'm pronouncing his name correct.
You are Ariano, yes. Anyway,
And,
that's my understanding.
And use him on this case because of the what transpired before the arrest.
Very well, that is certainly your right to do so. And it looks like, unfortunately, our next Monday attorney docket for traffic is not until January 13, 2025 at 9 a.m. So that's when I'm going to have to put that. That certainly will give Mr. Ariano and you time to work out any strategies you have. But unless you make bond, that does leave you in custody.
And the bond would be what, Your Honor?
Well, Mr. Regier, what is your position on bond?
Your Honor, as rightfully observed by the court, this is a case that appears to involve one alleged count of driving while habitual violator under KSA 8285 and 8287. Under these circumstances, the state is recommending a 2,500 cash or surety bond.
All right, now, Mr. Likes is in the Greenwood County Jail, and he is working some matters out on that may affect his bond situation.
I can post that bond, Your Honor.
Well, I will set a bond at 2,500 on this, but that's, you still have to deal with anything else you have going on, Mr. Likes.
I understand. Yes, ma'am.
So, all right, $2,500 cash or professional surety required. Your court date, again, is January 13th, 2025. That will be a condition of that bond, that you reappear at that time with your attorney. And you're hiring an attorney, so we'll make a note of that on the docket. Anything else on this matter, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, for purposes of the record, is the state correct in presuming that that bond is subject to all standard conditions, including no violations of the law, with special emphasis on any traffic laws of the state of Kansas?
That is absolutely correct. Mr. Likes, don't be doing any illegal driving. I'm going to order no alcohol, no illegal drugs, and comply with any other matters you have pending anywhere else. And Deputy Throckmorton?
You got it right.
Right.
He needs to be processed, but he's in custody in Greenwood County. So how you want to do that?
Is there a Greenwood County deputy with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Which one of you are there, please?
Jeremiah is with me. Jeremiah.
There, Deputy Anderson, are you there? Can you hear me?
Let me, I can.
That's okay. I'll just have Missy contact Deputy Andrews. Let's see if, Missy, can you just see if they can process that at Greenwood County?
Here he is. Here he is.
Okay. Deputy Andrews, he's got his matters in Greenwood County, but I'm going to go ahead and give him a 2,500 cash or surety on this Butler County case. Now, as a practical matter, your case is going to be precedent, but the officer was asking, do you want to just take care of that over there in your facility, or does Butler County need to do anything?
Yeah, we can do that, Judge.
All right, there you go, Deputy Throckmorton. Thank you, Deputy Andrews. And I believe we're through if there's nothing further. So, Mr. Likes, thank you. You may go at this time. I'll remand you back to the Sheriff at Greenwood.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'm going to recess for just a moment. Lane Frost, come back on your screen. What are you smoking? What are you smoking? What are you smoking?
I don't know if it's
Click on that red button. What are you smoking? Don't click anymore.
no.
Now,
Can you hear me now?
what are you smoking?
I'm not smoking anything, Your Honor.
What am I seeing coming from your mouth or nose that looks like smoke?
It could be the blur or the reflection. I have no idea.
you know that lying to a court can get you in a lot of trouble?
Yeah, no.
And you're not smoking anything?
No, ma'am.
What'd you say that was I've been seeing coming out of your mouth or nose?
No, I'm saying it could be the blur from back there. I don't know.
Hmm. After this docket is over, I'm going to replay. And if I see what I think I've been seeing, that's one problem.
Okay.
If I find out you're not telling me the truth, that's a second problem. All right, you may mute. Cecil Zilke. Unmute.
Yes, ma'am. I still had it on mute. I apologize.
Okay, are you smoking?
Yes, ma'am. I'm smoking a cigarette.
Okay.
I apologize. Do you want me to put it out?
Did the deputy tell you not to smoke?
No, ma'am, I didn't. I apologize. I'll put it out. I apologize.
I sent him a message too to quit it.
When
Did you?
start-
I'm very sorry, Your Honor. I apologize. I put it out. I'm sorry. I sit in my house and
Oh, you're not. You're sitting in my court.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Madam Judge, you're correct. I am in your court. I apologize. I put it out and I'm very sorry.
All right, mute and don't do it again.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll contemplate whether finding you in contempt or not, because the officer and I both told you at the beginning not to be smoking in court. Don't do anything right now.
Madam Judge, I came into the court late and so
Well, that's a
I don't
problem
remember.
too. You don't come into court late. You come into court at the time you're told to, or you're ordered to. I think you better stop talking and not make things any more worse for you, Mr.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I
Better
apologize.
mute. Stop talking, mute until I call your name again, because it
Yes,
can
ma'am.
only get worse for you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's 3 violations right there: coming in late, not doing what you were told, and smoking. And I hope everyone else is paying attention. Mr. Frost, I'm going to take you up next because I think you may have gotten the brunt of what I saw Mr. Zilke doing. You were side by side, and sometimes these boxes can kind of have an illusion. So I'm going to basically put you up here next. On the record in 2024 TR 2294, State of Kansas versus Lane Travis Lee Frost. Jared Regier for the state, and Mr. Frost appears in person and pro se. Mr. Frost, it looks like you're here on one count of driving without insurance, a B misdemeanor, minimum fine $300, maximum $1,000, and up to 6 months. Possible jail time. Again, those are the extremes. The minimum is required, though. As I've told others, if you had insurance and get it to the county attorney, they'll probably dismiss that. If you didn't, you might want to look into diversion. If you aren't interested in diversion, you can always set this for trial. You do have the right to an attorney, Mr. Frost. So how would you like to proceed?
So I would like to represent myself, but I'm looking for a diversion.
All right. And no one's making you waive your right to an attorney, or are they?
No, ma'am.
You're doing this freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
I will have the record reflect that you're freely and voluntarily waiving your right to attorney. I would advise you can always reinstate your right if you wish. But at this time, we'll note that you're applying for diversion. And do you have the website, the bucoks.com?
Yes, ma'am.
And the county attorney's number?
Yes, ma'am.
And your court date will be February 26th at 9 a.m., but you should be diverted well before then and taken off the docket. Make sure that if you don't if you don't get a response to your application within a period of time, call the county attorney. If
Okay.
you're in a financial bind, don't wait for court. Call them and talk to them. Maybe there's nothing they'll do about it. Maybe there is, but it doesn't hurt to check. All right. You need, I think, to get your picture and prints taken.
Yes.
So I'm gonna give you $1,000 OR bond, and you just need to accept the invitation to the breakout room, Mr. Frost.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Here that pursuant to KSA 212501, the court that specifically subsection B, it does provide quote, the court shall ensure upon the offender's first appearance or in any event before final disposition of a felony or an A or B misdemeanor or a violation of a county resolution which prohibits an act which is prohibited by a class A or B misdemeanor, that the offender has been processed, fingerprinted, and
Yes. And while we're on recess, Mr. Zilke, now what are you doing? Resting, sleeping? You're muted.
Yes, ma'am. I just
You're in court.
waiting for my turn. I apologize.
Y'all are in court. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
Okay. State of Kansas versus Cecil James Zilke.
Yes, ma'am.
And Jared Regier appears for the state. Mr. Zilke in person and pro se on one count, driving while suspended after a prior conviction. That prior would elevate this to a class A non-person misdemeanor. The penalties include a must serve minimum 5 days, up to a year in jail. It also has a possible fine up to $2,500. And my understanding is that the prior would exclude diversion. Do you wish to have an attorney since there is some mandatory must serve jail time, Mr. Zilke?
Well, Madam Judge, I have a couple questions about that.
All right.
How does a 15-year-old charge constitute second?
How does it constitute a prior conviction?
Yes, ma'am. 15 years. 15 years.
15 years. Well, the legislature did not put a time limit on how far back the state was to look. And so the answer is,
My understanding was
asked
that
the
was supposed to fall
legislature.
off my record after 7 years, and this is 15 years.
Well, you'll need to talk to the legislature about that or an attorney that represents your interests. So again, do you want to talk to an attorney about that? You're looking at some mandatory jail time, just reminding.
Yes, I understand that, and let me retract and back up here. I didn't mean to disrespect your court. I literally got kicked out of my house. My girlfriend and I broke up, and I got kicked out of my house. I didn't even know I was supposed to be in court this morning until I called the court this morning. So I showed up to court late because I called the court and she was like, "Oh, well, you're supposed to be in court right now." I was like, "Oh, can you give me that?" I apologize to you. I apologize to
Today, Junior.
Prosecutor. Yes, thank you. I never meant any disrespect to you guys.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So we can move on from there. We're okay there.
Madam Judge, I'm a country boy from Kansas. The only trouble I've ever been in involves cars and alcohol. Okay, that's just me.
Okay. So do you understand though that you are facing a charge? So
I get my license back.
My
I
question is,
apologize.
do you want to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or waive your right to attorney?
I get
Is that jail time mandatory?
December 22nd.
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
I can get my license back on December 22nd.
All right, do you want
Once
to?
again, it's everything that I've ever done involves alcohol and cars. So I can reinstate my license December 22nd. So if there's any possible way that we could maybe continue it, and then when I get my license back, I'll bring it to the court and I'll bring it to Madam Judge and I'll be like, hey, my license is back.
I can't negotiate with you.
I'm not asking.
Mr. Regier, the prosecutor might.
I apologize.
Okay,
That's not
hang on. Mr. Regier, the prosecutor can negotiate with you. He brought the charges. He can negotiate with you.
okay.
What I can do is set the matter for trial and hear the facts and see if there's enough evidence to convict or not. And if there is, then I would decide what your consequence would be. But at this
Yes, ma'am.
stage,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I understand what you're saying now. And I apologize earlier. I wasn't the one talking to my girlfriend. I'm sitting in the house with 3 dogs, huh?
all right, okay. So I just,
and when I sent that text message, I thought that was going to your bailiff. I
okay.
thought that was going to you.
You sent that, I think, to everybody. All right. Well, Mr. Zilke, I just need to know, are you going to have an attorney or you represent yourself?
Well, thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate that. But regardless, I apologize. I never.
Your apologies are accepted. Now, don't worry about it anymore. Just don't do it again and move on, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So are you going to have an attorney? Or are you going
I don't really think I need an attorney if we can have a sidebar to.
Well, I'm not doing a sidebar. And I don't have time for Mr.
prosecutor.
Regier and you to talk today.
Me and the prosecutor have a little sidebar.
Not today. I don't have time.
I can diversion from there, I think. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think they'll divert a second one, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
The first one was 15 years ago.
All right.
See, now you're doing what I did.
All right. I am going to continue this, the time to count against you, not the state, to February 26th at 9 a.m.
Thank you, ma'am.
That'll give you time to do whatever you're going to do to get your license back.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And then that'll let you do whatever you want to do to look at diversion, talk to the county attorney, to hire an attorney. Whatever you want to do, I'll give you
I
time
don't
to
really
do
need
it.
the money to buy an attorney, but you know, if prosecutor and I can talk to each other
All
and
right, so are you going to waive your right to an attorney and talk to the prosecutor yourself? Because he's not going to want to talk to you except through your attorney or if you waive your right to counsel.
how about I just shut up?
Okay, but this time I need an answer. Do you want an attorney or do you not? This time I do need you to say something. Yes or no? Do you want to hire an attorney if you cannot afford
I
it?
still seek counsel if I say I'll take my continuance.
Well, I don't want to waste the 3 months in between. I want you to, if you're going to want to talk to the attorney, he's going to want a waiver.
Well, so I work out of Spirit, and I work. I actually pay.
Some prepaid legal stuff.
Yes, ma'am. There you go. Thank you.
What? Okay, there you go. Perfect. You can talk to your prepaid legal. And they can give you some ideas from there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, so that's what we're gonna do. You've got the address for diversion, if you want to look at it, right? The B.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You've got Mr. Regeer's number, and you're gonna talk to prepaid legal, and they're gonna give you some idea on how you want to wrap all this up, so
Yes,
please
ma'am.
don't be in the same, I don't know, state today when I see you in a couple of months, okay? Have something moving forward.
Madam Judge, this literally is my first court appearance on
This
the
charge,
phone. So I wasn't so aware of the rules and stuff, and I really apologize for
we're moving on from there. You're good, we're moving on, not to
I
worry.
never do that. I apologize.
And I told you that's accepted and we're moving on and you don't have to worry about that as long
Yes,
as you
ma'am.
don't
Yes,
repeat it.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good deal.
Judge, he
Thank
needs
you.
process.
Oh, you need process. Okay. You need to take a breakout room with this deputy and because it's your second driving while suspended, I'm going to set the bond at 2,000 OR. You won't have to put the money up unless you fail to divert or come to court or whatever you're
Okay.
required to do. So go in that breakout room, get your picture and prints taken. If
Yes,
you
ma'am.
don't do
Yes,
it at
ma'am.
the date and time he tells you, you're going to
Yes, ma'am.
probably get a warrant and get arrested.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Regeer, on this case?
No, Your Honor.
Yes.
All right.